To do an interview for the American Society for Information Science and Technology's 75th anniversary, and we're interviewing prominent figures in the field of library and information science. So we're lucky to have Bonnie's time today, Bonnie Cooper Carroll, and I have a series of questions I would like to just get you started with, and I'd like to encourage you to just carry on with these questions and tell us all that you can.
Okay, well, we've known each other a long time, so I'm sure you'll ask them. And you know whether I'll answer them.
That's right. All right, so the purpose of this interview is to give you a chance to talk about your career. We'd like to have that documented for the ACES archives. Also to talk about your role in ACES, since you were the president of ACES in the 1980s, and to talk about your company. And you have some new news I'm hoping that you'll share with us when we get here. So the first thing is, I was remembering back a story that I probably shouldn't tell, but I will tell this story. I think it was your 40th birthday.
45th?
Maybe it was 45th, because you had your...
Only 3 years ago, right?
Was it that long ago? Gosh. You had your nails painted, and we had a party at your house, and you had done your nails so that the numbers 4 and 5 were right together on that finger, and so whenever anybody asked you how old you were, you could show them. It was just a great story.
It's a very funny story, because yesterday I was with somebody who had gorgeous nails, and I told her that 45th story.
Yeah, that was a great story. Yes, I've been thinking of emulating that at some point.
When you turned 45.
When I turned 45 on my birthday.
Okay.
So, but I remember that you were born in October. I can't remember exactly what year, but you know for ACES that we are giving birthdays. So you can just do October and the day. You don't have to give a year.
It's October 4th, 1947, and I'm proud of every year.
Good for you. Well, you don't look a day over 45, and I mean that absolutely sincerely. You do. You're great. So, no, I'm serious. Well, don't get me started. And I'll say that. So, question is, tell me about when you grew up in New York City. Is that right?
Outside of New York City.
Where did you grow up?
Long Island.
In Long Island? I didn't know you grew up in Long Island. Where in Long Island?
South Central Nassau County. Fillmore.
Okay, that's right. That's good. Can you tell me about your parents and your siblings? What was your family doing? I met your dad. And
Well,
your mom.
it's interesting. I mean, I assume, the focus of this is kind of professionally, ultimately, and how you started where you ended up.
Where did you start from?
So it's interesting because everybody talks about entrepreneurship, and I guess I've become an entrepreneur. But the fact is, I grew up in a very middle class home. My father was an engineer. My mother was a school teacher, and I never knew anything about politics. I never knew anything about entrepreneurship. It was a very sheltered environment. I don't know where this all came from, but that was the environment I grew up in. I have an older brother who is very close in age. People thought we were twins. He's a year and 10 months, but girls look older and boys. So for years it was Carrot Top. I was a redhead, so was he, and Bonnie. And then about 7 years later, my younger sister came. And that changed the family life and dynamics. But, I was off to college by the time she was 10 years old.
Wow.
So.
And you and Roy Cooper have been married now for quite a while.
31 years.
31 years. So that would be 19... Gosh, I can't believe that. That's a long time ago. I can't even count that far back. So, but in between the time that you grew up in Long Island, what did you do? You went, after you graduated from high school, you went to Cornell.
Right.
And what did you study?
Social psychology. And that was a very traditional thing to do. You grew up in New York City area, and then you wanted to go up to Cornell, the great school on the hill, and you went there, and then I got my degree there. Actually, I got my degree in 3.5 years. And a girlfriend and I, we've remained friends since we were both 14 years old. Our careers and our lives followed each other. We both graduated early, and then we took off and went traveling for 3 months together, and then I went on for another 3 months. And then when I left, I said, well, I'm applying to library school, and I'm sure we'll get to why. And if I get in when I get back, I'll have something to do. If not, I'll come back and find a job. And that's what I did, and I got into library school with a full